Well, it's spring of 2023. We've had a lot of stuff happen in the real estate market over the past 9 months or so. Interest rates started to spike in June and July of 2022. The real estate market really started to cool off from its ultra bull run for the last 10 years. We've seen recent bank failures. We've seen the stock market start to tumble. We've seen major layoffs from huge companies across the board. Yet, the real estate market has not come tumbling down. So why in the heck aren't real estate prices crashing? Well, after several years of price appreciation, basically since springtime of 2012, when the real estate market finally bottomed out and prices started to go on the upswing. We've seen a bull market for 10, 11 years now, and then all of a sudden, home prices peaked in the summer of 2022, just about 9 months ago. And this, of course, led a lot of people to say, oh my goodness, it is finally here. The bubble has burst. The real estate market will come crashing down very, very soon. So buyers, get loaded up because you are about to get a steal of a deal on real estate. Well, that didn't really happen. And even though we're not really seeing this buying frenzy like we saw after the start of the pandemic, the market hasn't really crashed, and we got to ask ourselves, why is that? One of my favorite economists, Lawrence Young, who is the chief economist at the National Association of Realtors, doesn't expect very much to change, saying, quote, "Home prices will be steady in most parts of the country, with a minor change in the national median home price." And so naturally you might think that as the market starts to cool off, home sellers are going to have to start slashing their prices just to get their homes to sell. And that's what a lot of home buyers have been waiting for. But there's one major factor associated with this pause in price depreciation, and that is the number one economic indicator that we always look at here as real estate professionals, and that is the level of inventory. Right now, we have super low inventory. And according to Lawrence Young, that's limiting just how low prices will go. Quote, "We simply don't have enough inventory. Will some markets see a price decline? Yes. But with the supply not being there, the repeat of a 30% price decline is highly, highly unlikely." As you can see in this graph, we've been at or near record low inventory levels for a few years now. Getting used to ultra low rates here in the DFW market with ultra low inventory levels produced one of the hottest sellers markets that there has ever been in the history of residential real estate in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And of course, we helped a lot of people realize their equity and go through these maddening multiple offer scenarios where sellers were basically just naming their price, putting a sign in the yard, and just watching the frenzy happen. And of course, that's not happening anymore. We saw the peak happen in the summer of 2022. And ever since then, real estate prices across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex have come down by about 10% on average across the board. And while it might not be obvious to the layperson out there why this is happening, it's super obvious to me because it is the number one thing that we track, which is the inventory levels. And right now, inventory still is in a position where it makes it a seller's market. So even though homes aren't flying off the shelf and we're not seeing multiple offers, we still technically are in a seller's market with this super low inventory. And as long as inventory remains low, that is going to put upward pressure on prices, or at least relieve the chances that home prices are going to be crashing. Bankrate puts it like this, quote, "This ongoing lack of inventory explains why many buyers still have little choice but to bid up prices. And it also indicates that the supply and demand equation simply won't allow a price crash in the near future." According to industry expert Rick Sharga, inventory isn't likely to rise significantly this year, saying, quote, "I believe that we're likely to see low inventory continue to vex the housing market throughout 2023. So bottom line is that as long as the supply of real estate homes for sale in the DFW area remains low, you're unlikely to see any more downward movement of prices. Really, it appears that the only main driver of why real estate prices came down a little is because the interest rate shot up, and that really pulled a lot of buyers out of the market. So if you've been waiting for prices to come tumbling down a la 2008, 9, and 10, I got news for you. I really don't think that that's going to happen unless we see some huge economic catastrophe happen across the world, across the United States, and I guess anything could happen, but as for right now, should things just kind of remain the same, I think home prices are just going to kind of stabilize out, and it's going to continue to be a seller's market until the inventory rises above, say, 5 to 6 months worth of inventory. Of course, if you'd like to know how any of these statistics affects your particular home in your neighborhood, in your area, you can always get a free home evaluation at our website, or you can give us a call to see what's going on. Our office number is 469-998-3322, or you can visit us on our website at mydallashomefinder.com. We look forward to working with you soon, so thanks and happy selling.